You know, it's cold out there again today.
It is. Didn't notice.
26 degrees where we are in Atlanta. And I thought on the way in today, I want global warming to happen faster.
Herbert.
Yeah, we might be working our way there, but when we got days like this, I'm like, come on, people. We need to start messing up with the environment more and more and more so we don't have to deal with the cold.
Bert doesn't care if his sons or his sons' kids have an earth to call home, just as long as he doesn't have to freeze his butt off in the morning coming into work.
As long as he can have his toes out.
Yes, more plastics, people. Okay, Lisa, what happened with you and your wife, man? Somebody laid their hands on your kids?
I wasn't there. This is all, I'm going to relay it as it was relayed to me I'm going to try not to exaggerate. I don't know if my wife did or not. So I came home from hanging out with a friend, and my wife had taken our kids to Stars and Stripes and like bowling arcade or whatever. And
you have three lovely children.
And she went with...
Two lovely children and the other one.
No, they're all pretty lovely.
I'm not going to mention which one I think is the other one.
Okay.
I'm playing.
That's fine. And they went with some neighbors and a bunch of their kids. So there was like a gang of them. And so they went and they bowled. And then afterwards, I guess you get, like, they give you like a gift card or a game card, like to play after. So
there's an arcade bowling there that they can play stuff.
Yeah, and then they have a bunch of stuff. And
it's not like back in the day when you were using quarters and coins. Now it's a little card where
it's a rechargeable card.
Yeah, rechargeable card. I love it.
That's a hustle. That's a hustle right there. You don't realize what you're spending. I mean, just another swipe. You're not pulling the cash out of your pocket. They don't even take cash.
Yeah.
Like, use your card.
It's a little bit like when your last Netflix show happens also, and you're depressed because you didn't know it was coming. It's the same as those cards. You swipe again, and then there's that disappointment of like, oh, no.
No credits.
No credits.
It shows up red on the little slide.
Tells the whole place.
Yeah.
Mama,
Loser.
Mama, I'm out of credits, Mama.
Mama, we're poor. Mama.
Fill up my card. So I guess they were running around. The kids had their cards, and my wife is standing there with some of the other neighbors. And I guess my son Kai and his friend were, I don't know, they weren't roughhousing, but they were kind of like going to the next game. And my son kind of like leaned up against this guy that was sitting on like a stool, like watching an adult. Yeah, like a man, like a full grown man baby, sitting on this stool, watching his kid play. And I guess my son got a little close to him. And so instead of like going, whoa, like putting his hands on his shoulder, like, oh, like,
hey, personal space, buddy.
Yeah, well, you're not even saying that. Just excuse me, he kind of like used his hands and like pushed. Like,
he pushed your son?
Pushed him.
Yeah.
And tell her, how old's your son again?
He's 12.
And this is a grown man.
A grown man.
And a kid he's at a place where there's a ton of kids.
Yeah.
Bowling, like a massive arcade area. And a kid actually, accidentally invades his personal space. And instead of turning around and, I don't know, using words and communicating with the child, he shoved the child.
Yeah. And I mean, my wife says, close fist. Like, pushed him.
Oh, closed fist pushed him.
Yeah.
I've never even seen that before.
Me either.
Yeah, like, why? Why not just like kind of catch him, lightly and be like, excuse me, and
or even just a light Heisman touch. Just going, excuse me.
Right. Because, he's about to fall. Maybe my son was about to fall into him. But like, as my wife says, like, closed fist pushed him, and where my son didn't fly forward, but he definitely like...
A little momentum.
Yeah, got a little momentum in the direction from where the fists were aiming him. And then the same guy like grabbed my son's friend by the arm. And so my wife is sitting there watching.
Mama Bear. Here we go, Mama Bear.
And basically goes up to him and goes, excuse me, keep your hands off of my son. And I mean, these are kids. And then the dude's wife... told her, I'll see you next Tuesday. Like,
called her that?
Oh.
No, she didn't.
Yes.
Stars and Stripes?
I'm telling you. And like, so my wife, she kept, like, I'm proud of her because she kept her composure.
Those are people you don't want to mess with, because now that's like, when somebody has that visceral of a reaction, I see like danger signs everywhere.
Yeah. But my wife was like, started berating her about using that language in front of, like, there are kids here.
Yeah.
Like there's no absolute reason to talk like that. And so it was going back and forth. She was so heated up. And I was like, was it really a push? She's like, he used his closed fist. I was like, well, you did the right thing. You stood up for him. Like,
now I'm not saying what she's saying is not accurate, okay? But when it's your own child, I would love to see the security cameras to see if what she was feeling is really what happened, because I would be the same way. Even a slight push to me would feel like a World Wrestling Federation takedown.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things. It's like when you take a picture with a girl, you don't grope the girl, you know? I mean, it's just like if a kid's going to run into you, you don't, you know, you just kind of capture him and go, excuse me. Yeah. It's like a gentle, like you don't close your fist and just.
I don't know. If you're part of a family where the wife is using the C word like that, I tend to believe the whole family might be
white trash.
A little. Maybe I was wrong here. I don't do a lot of games and stuff this early in the morning because I figure you guys don't have a lot of listeners this early in the morning, or you guys are too busy to call. But man, I put $100 on the line. Yeah. Look at those phones light up.
They did.
Time to lose Bert's money. So the key is pay him out for him to call this early in the morning. Good morning, Jazzy. How are you this morning?
I'm so good. I'm so ready to lose your money.
Okay, I like that attitude. You get nothing. Jazz, where are you calling us from?
I am from Canton.
I love you calling in. Thank you. Alicia, good morning. You were on the Bert Show. Where are you from?
Good morning. Good morning. I am from Roswell.
Thank you very much for listening from Roswell. And Hannah, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are y'all?
All right. What city are you representing or embarrassing this morning?
I'm going to go with Rep, Woodstock.
Okay, let's go. So here's how Lose Bert's Money works. I've got one trivia question. You got $100 right now. Actually, Jazzy has $100 because she's going to go first. She's got it. With every incorrect answer you guys come up with, we're going to take $10 off of that 100, okay?
All right.
We all get it. Here is your trivia question. 11% of all households have these under one of their beds. What is it? 11% of households. That's not much. 11% of households have these under one of their beds. What is it?
Okay, I kind of feel bad saying this because it's under the bed, but maybe a Bible.
A what?
A Bible.
A Bible.
Like, most people put them in their drawers.
Yeah, right.
So
what?
Maybe under the. Oh my gosh, that's so messed up.
Deal with the monsters.
What's that?
Let God deal with the monsters.
All right.
Makes sense.
Not a bad guess because we're only talking about 11%, but that's not the correct guess. So,
Okay,
Jazzy, you should now have very guilty feelings about losing $10 for everybody else.
I'm so happy I called in.
Alicia, good morning. It's only 11% of all households, but they have these under one of their beds. What is it?
One of the trundle beds.
One of the trundle beds?
The ones so especially if you have kids, there's
slide
beds. There's beds that have like a bed underneath of it that you can pull out for somebody to sleep on.
Yeah, okay. That is not the correct answer.
I feel like that was a good guess.
But you guys are both very nice guesses. Hannah, go ahead. You got what? $80 now?
Oh goodness, pressure's on. Okay, shoes.
Shoes.
Okay.
Shoes under the bed. 11% of households have shoes under the bed. That is not true. I would imagine that number is much higher.
Okay, you guys have not guessed what's under my bed yet.
Okay, hold on. Hey, Jazzy.
Yes.
All right, 11% of households have these under one of the beds in their home. What is it?
All right, so we're going to go completely opposite now that I feel so guilty, and we're going to say trash.
Trash. Just trash. Throw it down there. Okay, that is
water, papers, or
Sure, wad it up. I mean, and the trash can is probably right there, but you're like, that's too far. I'll just throw it under the bed. That is not the correct answer.
Okay.
All right, no sweat. We're going to go to Alicia now. And how much is up for grabs now?
60.
$60, Alicia. 11% of households have these under one of their beds. What is it?
Oh, shenanigans.
Pure shenanigans here.
Better than saying the other S word.
We did this growing up. Parts of your dining room table, like the leaf.
Okay. That's not a bad idea.
Why would you put that under your bed?
Because
there's nowhere long
Storage.
Yeah.
Okay. 11%. So that would be rare, but that is not the correct answer.
Still haven't guessed what's under my bed.
All right, Hannah, good morning. Go for it. If you don't get this right, I'm going to give you guys another little hint.
And this is for $50,
I have
Hannah.
3 kids. I'm going to go with dishes.
Dishes. 11% of all households have these under their beds. Dishes under the bed is the correct answer.
Are you kidding me? My sister used to do that. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yep. That number actually goes up if you are at home with teenagers.
Yep.
But yes, dirty dishes.
Dirty dishes. Ew.
That's disgusting, man.
That is not what's underneath my bed.
What were you thinking is underneath your bed?
Wrapping paper.
Wrapping paper.
I keep all that long wrapping paper underneath my bed.
I was thinking fur balls or hair balls, like if you have pets.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it is dishes. Dirty dishes underneath the bed. Congrats. That's $50?
Yes.
$50. If you're new around here, I am a big fan of line in the sand days, especially for women. And for me, a line in the sand day is like, look, you've been going out with this guy for a while. You guys have dabbled in talk about marriage. He seems to put it off and put it off and put it off. And finally, in your own head, you have a deadline date. It's not an ultimatum. That's what is different about this. In your head, you have a date. If the dude proposes, he meets that date, then great. If not, you bounce. But you can't keep moving that date or you're never going to take off. And the reason why I say this is because I've seen too many women in their 20s that go into their mid-30s with the same dude. And then he wakes up one morning and decides, you know what? Marriage is just not for me. And there you are for 10 years hanging with this guy, assuming that there's a commitment. And there's not. So with this follow-up Thursday, it's a little bit of the same because she was promising herself she's going to take off if her dude did not propose to her, and we never followed up on it. So Mo's got the recap.
All right, so after 5 years together, Nancy was expecting a marriage proposal. Her boyfriend repeatedly gave excuses for not proposing. Lack of money, being busy, needing to finish grad school, etc. He even gave her a promise ring that promised her he would give her a special proposal one day. So Nancy decided to give a quiet ultimatum. If he didn't propose by Valentine's Day, she was going to end the relationship. So what happened?
Sounds good on paper, but Valentine's Day comes and goes. Does she really follow through on her own word?
So here's the update. It says, "Hi guys, I can't believe it's been a whole year. Do you want to guess if I'm currently engaged?" Spoiler alert, I'm not, but that's not from lack of trying. I didn't give him an ultimatum or let him know I was expecting to be proposed to by Valentine's Day. I did, however, try to manipulate him into thinking about it through subliminal messaging. I would leave my laptop open with my wedding Pinterest board up. I would bring up the weddings of our acquaintances and friends in random conversations. I asked him very far in advance if he wanted to do anything special for Valentine's Day. One night, in a moment of true desperation, I just whispered, propose, propose, propose in his ear.
So his subconscious is hearing it. He's in REM sleep, but his subconscious is hearing it.
I whispered, propose, propose, propose in his ear as he slept. This did not make me feel like an adult, but the truth is, I would have felt so pathetic bringing up my dream of getting married one more time with this man. I still harbored this romantic idea that he would understand my heart and surprise me one day by getting on one knee. So I was thrilled when the week before Valentine's Day, he told me to clear my calendar for the evening. He let me know he had a night planned for us and was very coy, refusing to share any details. Of course, I immediately assumed he was proposing. When Valentine's Day arrived, he woke me up with a beautiful breakfast in the morning and had flowers ready for me at home when I came back from work. He gave me time to really doll myself up that evening before driving me to a secret location.
Uh-oh. He's about to offer. Rather than propose, he's going to commit murder.
He had booked reservations at a restaurant with incredible views. We ate, drank, laughed, and watched the sunset. I felt like I was in a dream. And then the check came. And then we got up from the table and left. And we got in the car. And on the way home, I finally realized he was not going to propose today. I started bawling, crying in the car. My frustration just leaked out in that moment, and I told him I was so upset. I asked him why he hadn't proposed and told him I felt led on. He was shocked, but he stayed quiet and asked to talk about it at home. Once there, he took my hand and confessed to me that after some deep thought, he had realized he was just not the marriage type.
Oh, he had a proposal, all right.
How long had they been together?
5 years.
See, man. Okay.
He told me that he loved me and wanted to stay with me forever, but that he would never be comfortable getting married. He said he hoped that our relationship meant more to me than a piece of paper. I asked him if he would ever change his mind, and he said no. I asked why he had never shared any of this with me, and he told me that he was afraid he would lose me. So to catch you up to speed today, we are still living together. I made some big proclamations after his confession about moving out and finding the right person for me. I even gave the promise ring back, but I never pulled the trigger. We were like roommates for months, and as of recently, I've let him back into my heart a little more again because I do still love him. Today, I'm trying to figure out what it is I want. Should I break it off with him for good? Is marriage more important than being with him? I don't know anymore, so right now, I'm back to casually dating the man I thought I was going to marry. Regrets, Nancy.
He's lying to you because when he's like, oh, our relationship is more important than just a piece of paper. Okay, if it's just a piece of paper, then you shouldn't have a problem getting married. So clearly it's not just a piece of paper to him. It's something more. And he's got some kind of reservation or cold feet deep inside. You gotta, if you want to get married, you gotta ditch him.
I say at this point, it's on you though, right? Nancy, because now he's told you, this is where I'm at. This is where my head's at. 100% honest. I don't know how much discussion you guys had about marriage beforehand. That's sort of the caveat of a line in the sand day. There has to be some kind of agreement or that he knows how you feel about marriage, right? If you've never had that talk, then all bets are off. But you guys have had this talk before and he knows how important it is. So you made your point. He has been honest with you and said, this ain't never going to happen for me. If you continue to go back, now it's on you.
I agree. You have your answer. I feel like you've always had your answer. I've always felt like if you have to do all of this to get somebody to marry you, you really have your answer. You shouldn't have to force somebody to marry you. You shouldn't have to convince him to marry you. He should just want to do it. And if he doesn't, it's up to you to decide what you do from that point. Like she asked the question, is being with him more important than being married? That's the question. And if you feel like marriage is more important than being with him, then you got to move on.
I totally agree. Like if y'all see me begging a man to marry me, you need to call for help. Like that is a cry that somebody's got to get me out of there because you should not have to convince somebody to spend the rest of their lives with you. And he's saying to you that he wants to spend, maybe not the rest of his life, but the next foreseeable future with you. And I think he needs to be able to articulate why he is so against marriage because at the very least, then you can understand why you're going to leave him when you realize that he's never going to marry you.
You guys aren't on the same page, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a woman who, I got engaged 10 years into the relationship, okay? But my husband and I, we were on the same page. And so the fact that you two aren't on the same page makes me want to believe, like, if marriage is really important to you, and I think it is, then you're going to have to bow out. And it's a hard pill to swallow.
So in January here, moving on, Kristen has made the same agreement with herself that a lot of you guys have made with yourself. And that's, you know what? I overdid it in November. I overdid it with the alcohol in December. Also for the holidays, I'm giving myself a break here. I'm just going to live life. But January rolled around and you're like, that was too much. So you decided to do dry January. So how's it going?
So I, like you just said, I imbibed. I felt a little too much in December, and more so instead of like for revelry and fun, it was more like a coping mechanism. I recognize that. I'm like, we're going to do a reset in 2025. I am going to partake in dry January. Here we are 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
I have still held strong.
Not one sip.
Not one sip.
Well done.
Not
Well
one
done.
sip of alcohol so far this month. However, I did write down a list of all the times I wanted to drink but didn't.
Okay. All right.
Because I feel like that can give you an insight into your drinking habits and kind of like my own little personal research as to, all right, all the times I wanted to drink and forcibly made myself not. I think it's good to see where and when I want to drink.
At the end of your list, were you surprised by how many times that you wanted to drink, or were you pleasantly surprised by how little you wanted to drink?
We're in the middle.
Okay. Más o menos?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not excessive, but it's not shockingly low either.
Fair.
I think it's pretty, I think it's understandable. I think all of them make total sense. All right. So we're just going to kick it off.
What's the percentage of these that had to do with being a mom?
1, 2, 3.
3 of them, okay. All right. Half of the list.
All right. So the first time I wanted to have a drink was after the Great Fish Fiasco of 2025. So we lost Dinosaur. I had to go get a Dinosaur 2.0. And this was early in the morning. Cassie and her kids were coming over for a play date. I was successful in the transition of Dinosaur 2.0. And I really wanted a little celebratory mimosa with my friend Cass.
This was when you told your son, because you got a similar looking fish, but that didn't have stripes. And you said, well, this type of fish, when it gets older, loses its stripes.
Correct. And he's 3 and he believed it. And it was beautiful. And now he's totally fine that Dinosaur no longer has stripes.
Yeah, it's just mature.
Yeah, Dinosaur just grew up.
Yep.
All right. So the next one, when I was out to dinner with 3 small children. So my friend and I, it was a family outing to the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. We went to their restaurant. We're sitting there. Of course, the moms are on one side of the table with the 3 kids. The dads are on the other side. And Claire and I just look at each other like, we're going to have to schedule something else because we're not going to be able to have a full-blown conversation. And this is really annoying. And I would really love a glass of Sauvignon Blanc or maybe a lovely Pinot Noir right now. And it would really go well with my fish that I ordered that was super expensive, but I can't because I'm doing dry January. So that was the second one.
It's understandable.
Third one.
Were they drinking, by the way? Was everybody else at the Botanical Gardens drinking?
Our husbands were. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were having some beers.
Gotcha.
The next one, no explanation needed. I'm just going to say it and move on. It was after a funeral visitation. Got home, really wanted a glass of wine, but did not.
Absolutely.
The next one, I feel for some, at least half the country will understand. Again, needs no explanation, and that was Inauguration Day. Really wanted a cocktail or a drink that day, but obviously did not. Next, I had a spa day and I went and got a massage. And the place where I went and got my massage has free booze. They have their own free signature drink, or you can get like a free glass of champagne.
Oh, that's different when it's free.
Is that the St. Regis?
Yes.
That cocktail's really good too.
With the elderflower.
And free booze.
That's
too.
free, man.
That's
Tastes
right.
better.
That part every time.
And my cheap butt is like, how am I? So I'm sitting there.
And you're at like one of the most expensive restaurants in Atlanta. You're at the St. Regis.
I'm not at a restaurant. I'm at the spa.
spa, I mean,
yeah. I'm at the spa. So I'm sitting there in my little robe, laying out on my lounge seat with my book. And the woman comes up and I'm like, can I get a green tea? And the woman next to me is sipping her glass of champagne. And I'm like I'm actually trying to taste it as she's taking sips. And I'm like, if she sees me staring at her, she's going to think I'm crazy. And then the last one I think makes total sense for everybody, not just those with kids, but our epic snow day that we had. We had the most epic snow day. And I'm sitting there in my house. My husband had made a beautiful fire. And I really just wanted to make a cup of hot cocoa and throw a bunch of Baileys in it. But I couldn't because it's dry January.
Good for you, though. So what has been, just really, really quickly, what's been the thing that has made you strong when you were tempted with all of this? Just the commitment that you made to yourself?
The commitment that I made to myself. Yeah, literally. Because there have been times when I'm in my house and there is a bottle of red in the bottom of a cabinet, and I'm like, who's gonna know?
Right.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna. But I'm gonna know. So I've held strong. I have wavered, but I have held strong.
You're almost there.
Good for you. I'm always zigging and zagging, but this bad energy just keeps following him, and you're not doing anything wrong.
I think I'm being haunted, truly, by negative energy. And it's time to officially do something about it. And my lady is now finally convinced that I need to do something about it. So I've mentioned before on the show that I don't know what it is. It's been like this for a very long time for me. It just seems like I could be doing anything. I could be sitting on a plane. I could be walking down the street, just purely minding my business. And something will happen that out of nowhere that just seems to test my patience for whatever reason. And I've always heard the saying that if God keeps testing you in one area and you keep failing, that's the reason he keeps testing you. And you have to pass the test. And I don't know how to pass the test, but I've just always felt like this happens to me. And I don't know why. So I was telling my girl about it one day. And then the incident happened when we were in Thailand walking down the street. And this random stranger came up to us and tried to buy her off me. And it was a perfect example for her of like how See, I told you, like, I really be minding my business. Like, why does this kind of stuff always happen?
And just to be clear, it wasn't buy her forever. It was a one-night sale.
I don't know. We didn't have the debate or the discussion.
No negotiation.
Yeah, we didn't negotiate.
You didn't have an agent. He didn't have an agent.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and I regret it, but that's not here nor there. So the other day, my lady comes to me and she's like, I really think you need to consider doing like a cleansing. I think maybe that'll get whatever the negative energy is off of you. And I don't know what made her suddenly want to take this so seriously. It could have been that. It could have been her seeing my phone, and my ex called me the other day.
Out of nowhere?
Out of nowhere, man. Absolutely nowhere. I have not heard from her. We have not spoke. I don't know what's going on in her life. But of course, like as you're watching your iPad, you're watching a movie with your significant other. That's the time when the name pops up on the screen, and I'm
awkward.
like, oh man, I'm like, oh, that's great timing.
Whatever movie you're watching just became a horror.
I don't even think we finished the movie, so I had to explain to her, like, I promise you, this is not how it looks. That is the most random of calls, and she was like, yeah, it's time for a change. So she believes, and she might have a point. I never thought about this, that maybe in the time that I've now had my apartment, which has been 6 or 7 years, whatever it's been, that I've had a lot of people come in and out of my apartment. Some of them I'm not so fond of today. So she believes that a lot of these people who may have been in my personal space and are now no longer rooting for me from a distance, their energy, their bad energy could have been left in my place. She firmly believes this. So I come home the other day, and there's just like a pile of things. There's candles, there's incense, there's salt, there's sage, there's all of it. And oatmeal to get in the bath, like just a bunch of everything.
Your ex-girlfriend.
She wasn't there, thankfully. But so I've never tried to cleanse energy. I've never
You've
tried
never smudged anything?
Never in my life. I don't even know that this works. I don't know how this works. I don't know what to do, but she is completely convinced that I need to take on some kind of smudging cake. I know you've done it.
Mm-hmm. Several times for different houses. I've done it for my own, done it for my mom's, done it for my friends. And I think it's more of a mindset placebo thing than anything, if I'm being honest. It just makes you feel a little better about the situation, and maybe that changes your own energy. Therefore, when you change your own energy, you're attracting different energy.
Right.
It's one of those deals. But I mean, it doesn't hurt. And it's so simple. And if it makes you feel better, then by all means, absolutely do it. Because you take the sage and you burn it. Granted, you're in an apartment, so you don't need to. It only needs to smoke a little bit. It don't need to be smoking a lot, because we don't need the,
Don't set the fire alarm off.
No. But you open a window so the bad energy has somewhere to go out.
Okay.
And then in every corner of every room, you just take the sage and you like swirl it around, and then you go to other corners, swirl it around. And in every room in the house, you do that, and you just think positive, cleansing thoughts, and then all the bad energy is supposed to be released, and then you have like a new calming space.
Okay.
All right, so I've got a different take on it, although that sounds lovely and very woo-woo. I think you need a tweak in your thinking. I don't think that bad energy is following you, at least in this last example, because every day something little is going to go wrong in our days. That doesn't mean it's bad energy. I think it's life. I think it's the way you're looking at it. So there you are in this very exotic location with the woman that you love the most in Thailand. It's a dream spot for most people. But then this call comes in while you guys are watching this movie. That's not bad energy. I mean, look at what's around you, man. These are things that happen on the course of any given day. So I'm wondering if you want like a perfect day and you are considering any little thing that goes wrong part of bad energy when it's just part of life.
It could be. I mean, that's one example. I could sit here and give you 365 through 1 year that I would deal with. But in that example, yeah, I think that was more of the tipping point for her to say we should do something. But it's not like anything. It is life, ultimately. Mm-hmm. It is completely life. But I also feel like since she brought it up where Kristen said it doesn't hurt, I just wanted to make sure, if anything, we do it right. Like, I don't, you know what I'm
You don't
saying?
want to reverse
I don't want, exactly. I don't want to go the other way. But I do agree with you. I think the majority of the time it is life and it is tweaking your perspective. But if she believes sage is going to help, then I'm here to try it.
And it makes the place smell nice. So, I mean,
That's a bonus. That's a plus.
Can't hurt. Yeah. So our producer, Rebecca, here in just a second is going to tell you that it actually sucks worse to lose weight than it is to have the weight on.
so many people are going to come through the radio and just smack you upside your now svelte face.
I can't wait to hear the take, but I do want to ask this question before you get into it.
Yeah.
Because of political correctness now, and I have held off on saying anything, but it's clear that you have lost weight. Mm-hmm. But in a politically correct world, is that supposed to be acknowledged at all? Or is there a way to acknowledge it without it being offensive? Like, it used to be like, hey, you look great. But then looking great is associated with being skinny. And I know that's a bad thing. So what are you supposed to say?
And what you try to say, I looked bad when I was fat. Now I look great because I'm skinny.
Exactly what I'm trying to stay away from. So what is the politically correct thing to compliment somebody? Or if when you see a change, or do you just shut up about it?
That's interesting because it is one of the reasons that I have listed as my downsides to losing weight, because people really don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
They don't know how to approach you. I've gotten random reactions.
Well, I also think there's an extra level here, and I know we don't talk about it a lot anymore, because the weight loss, I'm assuming, came from the treatments of cancer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Even though you started this journey beforehand, this seems like a very extreme way to go to lose weight.
I mean,
Do not recommend. 10 out of 10, do not recommend.
Was it worth it? No, I don't know how many times I have heard someone say, I hate to say this, but you look great. And I'm like, you could just say I look great. Like, it's fine. It's okay. Like, I think no matter what anyone really says, like, losing weight, like, you do feel sort of like a sense of pride about it. You do feel probably pretty good about it. Honestly, I love fat me. Like, I loved who I was when I was fat. I thought I was beautiful. And so when someone like talks about, like, when someone says something that makes me feel like they're insulting fat me, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. But if someone just...
Which sounds like what?
Something like, you look... I've had people say you look better, which I don't like that.
No.
I don't like when someone says you look better. Mm-hmm. If someone just tells me that I look great, I can assume that they're probably saying I look better. But just saying you look great, I appreciate that. I think that's nice. Yeah.
All right. So what sucks about losing weight?
Oh, losing weight sucks. I hate being skinny. Bella Hadid, she won't stop calling me. I'm like, Bella, I'm not going to Milan. It's okay. Your career's not in danger. I came on like a few months ago to talk about how, like, the downsides of losing weight, but I think back then it was more obvious to me that I was losing weight because I could tell with my clothes and just looking in the mirror. But I think today, and you can correct me if I'm wrong and tell me I look fat, but I think today it seems sort of more obvious to other people that I've lost kind of a significant amount of weight. And you guys know, obviously, it's based on my history. I had surgery on my tongue. A portion of it was resected and removed. So one thing to know about me is that I'm really lazy. So if you make something like eating just the least bit harder, I'm not going to do it.
And you do not have to share if you do not want to, but just for people listening to get an idea, like, do you have an amount that you have lost since you started this journey?
Yes. So just with my history, with everything, with my tongue, with my dry mouth, and like just the sheer power of portion control, I have lost almost 70 pounds.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I think it was, I forgot to weigh myself today because I wanted an accurate reading, but it was like 68 last time I checked. I'm like, Abby would be dead.
So
My goal weight.
can you still taste?
I can.
Okay.
So I had like I think it was like a quarter of my tongue removed. I have the whole rest of my tongue. I have my whole mouth. I can taste everything.
Okay.
Actually, things taste a lot like spicier. Like things are hotter. I have to be very careful with what I eat now. But yeah, I can eat whatever I want. It's just, since I eat slower. I have to drink water a lot with my meals. All things that you're supposed to do and are very healthy to do. But yeah, makes me eat better, and I'm eating a lot better.
Do you know my ex-wife has never gotten her taste back from coronavirus?
Oh my God.
Really?
She's never gotten it back. Very, very, very little. And she has jokingly said to me, because she's lost some weight too, she wasn't trying to or anything, but the motivation for eating is taste, right? And without that, there's no motivation. So she's kept the weight off.
What's the point?
Yeah, right. Anyway, back to you.
So I have 5 reasons why losing weight sucks. And number 1 goes deep into what you were talking about, Bert, because I have had this exact conversation with several people recently. It goes exactly like this. Someone sees me. They say, "Are you losing weight?" I say, "I am." Then they say, "On purpose?" And I'm like, no, nothing's wrong with me anymore. Like, cross my fingers, like, keep praying for me if you're the praying type. But no, like, I'm good. Like,
That's awkward.
It's so awkward. And they're not doing anything wrong. Like, it's fine. I think it's just kind of like a follow-up question that just like pings in their minds. But just a PSA for people, like, if you have any inkling that someone's like weight loss could be because of some sort of issue, just don't bring it up.
Yeah.
They know they're giving Bella Hadid. It's fine. And other random reactions, number 2, my weight loss has on a number of occasions genuinely frightened people that I know.
Frightened?
Frightened. I have had screams of terror as I have seen people that I haven't seen in a long time. Like my friends and family. I would get up from the Thanksgiving dinner table and my sister would just go, "Ah!"
I can see your bones.
It's like they're just not used to it.
Yeah,
it's like uncanny valley, I guess, or something.
I mean, 70 pounds is significant. So
It's a
if they
lot.
haven't seen you since then, sure.
They're not used to flat Rebecca.
It's startling. Yeah.
It's very startling, jarring. But some people are very excited. Number 3, my mother, who you have all, I think, met at this point. She like defies the boundaries of thinness. She was like the Thomas Edison of being skinny. She invented that. She is very excited that I am losing weight and eating healthier. So she keeps buying me clothes because she's very happy about it. The only problem with that is that I hate them. I absolutely hate them. I think me and my mom, obviously, we do not share the same sense of fashion. I think I have an obvious kind of sense of style. It's like I serve if a Muppet didn't play about Hot Topic. That's my sense of style.
Okay.
We don't share that. So I have been totally sustaining all of the Goodwills in the metro Atlanta area just with my donations.
Are there more options now for you to choose from when it comes to fashion and clothes?
That is one of, honestly, my favorite things is getting to, I think a lot of people who are overweight and who have gained a lot of weight keep clothes in their closet. They're like, one day, maybe one day. And now I don't fit in those because I'm too skinny. And I'm like, it kind of does feel good. Like it feels good to be able to go to most stores now because I'm still overweight, but I can go into a store and I can fit into most of the things that I want to fit in. And that's awesome.
Whose scale says that you're overweight?
I mean, I would still consider myself overweight. Like I haven't done my BMI. I still have like a pooch.
Don't even look at BMI.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay, yeah, I have heard BMI is like really
it's
outdated
stupid.
and stuff. Yeah, I'm like a schmedium. That's how I feel. I feel like a schmedium. So number 4, and this is a retread, it's a super quick one. I talked about how cold I suddenly got, but I had no idea. I had no idea. I haven't been this weight during winter since like 98. And I don't understand how you people do this. It shouldn't be allowed. It doesn't have to be this way.
Layer, man.
It's crazy. Yeah, it sucks.
There's so many people going, God, I want to know that feeling of sucked right there. It is Girl Scout cookie season. Do you have a Girl Scout in the house that wants $250 for her Girl Scout cookies? She should call right now. 1-855-BERT Show. It is time for the Girl Scout Cookie Challenge. I know it's polarizing, but those Samoas, man, they get me every year. I love them so much.
What's polarizing about Samoas?
Either you love them or you hate them.
No, nobody hates a Samoa. I feel like the polarizing cookie are the Thin Mints.
Absolutely not. Shut your dirty mouth.
Pushing beauty standards for cookies everywhere. Thin Mints in 2025.
I always get several boxes and I leave them in my freezer. A frozen Thin Mint is the best kind of Thin Mint.
What's that really just bland one? It's just like
The shortbread?
Yeah.
The best one, trefoil. Those are my faves.
Those are good.
I'm right there with you.
That's the polarizing opinion. Is trefoil is good or bad? And survey says amazing,
delicious,
basic.
All right, we're going to get 3 Girl Scouts on the line to compete for $250 worth of Girl Scout cookies. Kristen, explain how we do this.
All right. For many, many years, the Bert Show has done the Girl Scout Cookie Challenge. We have 3 Girl Scouts on the line, and they do their cookie pitch. So it's like you're showing up at somebody's door, knock, knock, knock. We open the Bert Show door, and you have to pitch why we should spend $250 with you for your Girl Scout cookies. Share a little something about yourself, about your troop, what you're going to use the money for, etc. The best pitch wins. And this year, the Bert Show judge for our Girl Scout Cookie Challenge is Messy Mikey.
Yes.
Have you ever bought Girl Scout cookies, Mikey?
I've never bought them. I've had them.
Okay, so here's
You
the
sound thrilled.
here's the beautiful thing, and here is the awful thing about this segment, is that there are 2 young girls on the line that you at some point are going to have to tell, I am so sorry, we are not going to buy your cookies. One, you are going to say, heck yeah, I'm buying that, based on your opinion and their pitch.
Okay.
And remember, these are young girls, so be sensitive.
So this is all about their pitch.
Yes.
It's all about their pitch,
All right,
man.
3 girls.
3 girls,
One winner.
1 winner.
All right.
Are you ready?
Sell me some cookies.
Okay. All right, let's start with Tenley. Hi, Tenley. Good morning. You are on the Bert Show.
Hi.
Hi, Tenley. Thank you for listening to this thing we call the radio. It was here before YouTube and TikTok and everything. Thank you very much for calling. You are how old?
8 years old.
8 years old. And what Girl Scout troop are you representing?
2, 2, 3, 3, 3.
Okay, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. And do you know what city that's in?
Smyrna.
Smyrna. Okay. So, Tenley, you are going to make a pitch now. It can be as long or as short as you want to our producer, Messy Mikey, and tell him why he should buy $250 worth of Girl Scout cookies for you and your troop.
Well, it helps me and my troop do fun activities. It helps our community, and they taste really good. And with the money we get, we can vote on helping our communities like animals and people in need.
Oh, wow. So that's where all that money is going.
Tenley, do you have a favorite flavor Girl Scout cookie?
Adventurefuls.
Adventurefuls. Tell us a little bit about Adventurefuls, please.
They're like brownies with caramel.
Yeah,
That's it.
both of them. That's all it needs. That's all it needs to be, man.
On the edge of my seat. And you're precious, Tenley. Thanks.
All right, 8-year-old Tenley, you did a great job. Let's get Liana on now. Is it Liana or Leanna?
Liana.
Leanna. All right, you are 12 years old, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you are representing which troop and which city?
The troop that I am representing right now is 19424.
And what city is that?
Woodstock.
Woodstock is in the house. Okay. Liana, go ahead and make your pitch to Messy Mikey here. It could be as long or as short as you want. Why should he buy $250 worth of Girl Scout cookies from you?
Well, when we sell our Girl Scout cookies, a lot of the money goes to donations to helping people in need. So, like, one of the things that we're doing is our Bronze Award, which is we choose a community project problem, and then we help fix it. So we use the money to buy things for it. So, like, we went to the farmer's market, and we raised a awareness about bees to help them. And we go to animal shelters, we set up workshops for people, and we help with our food drives.
Okay.
Wow,
That's
doing
a
a
lot,
lot.
man.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great work in the community of Woodstock. Fantastic.
Do you have a favorite Girl Scout cookie?
I think my favorite Girl Scout cookie would probably be either a Samoa or an Adventureful.
Okay.
Ooh, the Adventureful.
I know.
All right. Very popular. Okay, Liana, you did a great job. We got one more to go through, and then Messy Mikey will make his decision. Sierra, good morning. You were on the Bert Show.
Is it Clara or Clara?
Claire.
Oh, I'm
Clara.
sorry.
Clara.
My bad. Clara, how old are you?
7.
7 years old, and you are representing which troop and which city?
23048. Gainesville.
And Gainesville. Very popular in Gainesville, okay? Keep that in mind. Okay.
No swaying the judge, Herbert.
All right, Sierra, go ahead.
Clara.
I'm sorry, Clara. Make your pitch to Messy Mikey here. Could be as long or as short as you want. Why should he buy those $250 worth of Girl Scout cookies from you?
This is hard. We're donating what? Food to people. We're donating food to the people who live across the street.
Okay.
And
Are they struggling right now, and that's why you want to give them a lending hand?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
They keep it right to the point in Gainesville.
Yes.
Okay, they get right to the point. Look, you decipher what she's saying. It's clear to me.
Yeah, very clear.
Okay.
Hey, sweetheart, do you have a favorite Girl Scout cookie?
S'mores.
Samoa. Okay, I understand that. I understand it. All right, Clara, hold on 1 second for me, okay?
All right.
All right. Right to the point in Gainesville.
I like that.
Okay?
There's somebody across the street who needs some food.
Period, queen.
That's it.
They could be in your own neighborhood.
All right, so here we go now. Messy Mikey, you have to make a decision. We will pick up the line of the winner last, okay?
Okay.
You had Tenley at 8 years old. She was our first caller. What was the identifying thing for her? Except being adorable.
She's helping people.
She's helping.
And animals.
And animals?
Yep.
Okay. Then you've got Liana, who is 12 years old.
Also helping people.
She's helping bees.
Yes.
And bees.
And then you got Clara.
Helping the person across the street.
That's right.
They need
Okay.
So we are calling the ones, or we are talking to the ones that you are not choosing first.
Okay.
Who should I take?
Don't tell us who, you just tell us who we need to pick up.
All right. Just go ahead and pick up Tinley.
Okay. Tenley, I want to introduce you to Messy Mikey. Go ahead, Messy Mikey.
Hey, Tinley, how are you?
Hi.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this. You seem as cool as can be. You seem like kind of a rebel. I'm a fan. I apologize. I'm not going to be able to buy cookies from you today.
It's okay.
I feel horrible.
Hey, Tenley, because Messy Mikey's just a mean person, I'm going to give you $100, so you hold on, okay?
Hey.
Aw.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we turned her around. This is how it usually goes with women.
Money talks.
I'm going to let that slide.
All right, Messy, who would you like to pick up next that is not getting your $250?
All right. Give me Leanna. Hey, Leanna, you there?
Yeah.
You want to rethink this, Mikey?
Listen, no, I have a reason. Leanna, you were so well spoken. You made a lot of sense to me, and that makes me think you going door to door, you're going to make all the money that you need. So I will not be buying cookies from you.
So she's
today.
being punished because she was too good.
Yeah, you're too good. You're a quality candidate. You can go get that money. I know you can.
Wow, that's a good life lesson.
Wow. Show them early. Huh, Mikey?
Yeah, let me hook you up with let me hook you up with $100. I agree with Messy. You are fantastic, and you're going to have no problem reaching your goal. We want to help you with that. You got 100, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, and
Every woman heard that, and she's like, I feel that pain.
Overqualified.
I'm not going to say that this was an upset, but go ahead.
All right. Hey, Clara.
Hi.
I gotta say, you remind me a lot of myself.
I knew it.
You just really don't know exactly what to say. You need a little help behind the phone, and for that reason, I'm giving you $250 for your Girl Scout cookies. Send me a bunch of Thin Mints, will you?
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
She's as surprised as anybody. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. And good luck with your Girl Scout cookies this year. Kristen's just trying to help Abby find a decent man.
And I thought, what better way than to have a solid reference? So that's why I'm asking all the sisters out there who have a brother that they love, that they adore, but most importantly, they would recommend as a date. All right. So all my sisters out there, I need you to hit me up. I need you to shoot me an email, Kristen, Kristin @thebertshow.com. If you can be a reference, if you recommend your brother as a potential suitor for our very own Abby.
Or even for really any other woman, because maybe you listen to the show and you're like, I don't really want her to be my sister-in-law. Think of the exposure he'll get. So you could find an even cooler sister-in-law. So even if you don't want him to date me, at least think of it as free advertisement.
No, Abby, this is not about finding these men, any woman. This is about finding the woman. You!
I'm just trying to trick hotter men to apply for the role, okay?
All right, so where do they hit you up?
Kristen @thebertshow.com. Shoot me an email. And if you're going to send an email, you better send a pic.
So is it true that Netflix may know you better than you know yourself? Our producer Amber thinks that she has a way to find out.
So I decided to get on that lovely Chat GPT, and I came across something that might be helpful to figure out what your personalities are based by your Netflix cues. So you guys sent me in your shows. So what I want to do is,
first of all, we didn't even really know what a cue was. We didn't.
So I didn't send the shows I've watched. I sent the Q, which is like what Netflix recommended.
So for you, Q is like, these are the shows. What you're watching or what you are going to be watching.
I mean, I think it's the Q is what you're going to be watching, technically.
Like your bookmark.
Yeah, your bookmark.
The OG Netflix queue, back when it was DVD only, you would add the movies to your queue and reorder them based on what you wanted first. So when somebody else returned the DVD, you would get the next one in your list. So it's like adding it to your list. Like, yes, I want to watch this, add it to my queue, add it to the list.
That would be called like a wish list.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So none of us had that. So we sent you the recommendations or the shows that Netflix has recommended for us.
That can still work because Netflix is recommending things that it thinks that you would like based on the shows and the movies that you're watching. Yeah. So it can still work.
Yeah, I was upset with my picks.
Were you?
Me and Netflix got to have a talk.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we got anything right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off the shows that you guys sent me in, and I want you guys to guess whose recommendations these are.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let you know what these content choices could be and also what your binge watching habits could be.
Okay.
All right. So the first one we got Jerry Springer, Fights Camera Action, Selling the City, and Don't Die, and Gilmore Girls. Who do you think did that one?
Okay. Again, those four?
We got Jerry Springer, Fights Camera Action.
That's the documentary on Jerry Springer.
Selling the City, Don't Die, and the Gilmore Girls.
I mean, out the gate with Springer in Selling the City, which is like a realtor, New York City, I was immediately thinking Bert. But that Gilmore Girls at the end is really throwing me off.
Threw you off?
Yeah, you're 100% right, and it threw me too.
I figured it was Bert.
I have no idea how Gilmore Girls got in there. Maybe it's for that show that we were talking about for so long. Nobody Wants This.
Oh, yeah. If you liked Nobody Wants This, maybe you'll like Gilmore Girls.
Don't you love coming of age movies?
Yes.
So Gilmore Girls is very coming of age with Lori's journey.
Yeah. All right, so maybe it did know me pretty well. And what was the other one? Don't Die?
Yeah, Don't Die.
Oh, I think I watched that.
It says it's a documentary or something.
Yeah, it's a documentary. That's the dude that's trying to live like 120 years old or never die. And he's got this... for 12 hours a day, all he does is work on biohacking himself.
Wait, what's the movie with Demi Moore when she's trying not to age? I thought that was Don't Die.
Oh, no, that's The Substance.
Oh, oops. Same thing, it feels like. All right. So according to the shows that you chose dealing with the Jerry Springer, Selling the City, and Don't Die, these are considered nostalgic shows or classic movies, is what it's saying. No, I'm sorry. No, it's not. There it is. Horror and thrillers, and then we have the documentary, and drama. That's what that is. So that is going to be meaning that you might be empathetic, curious, and enjoy learning new things.
Okay, I'll
Does
take
that sound?
that. All right. If we do all of us right now, it's going to take way too long. So let's do one at a time throughout the show. Okay. So hang out. And the next one we will try to guess whose it is. That one wasn't bad, actually.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
It was pretty dang close. Okay, so we'll continue to do it later on.
All right, sounds like a plan.
All the signs were there yesterday, and for maybe the first time in my life, I actually listened to them, and I did something that I have never done before, and this morning I'm so happy I did it. You ever have one of those days where you just can't focus on any one thing at all?
You're just scattered?
All over the place. Like your body feels tired, your mind is tired, and you just feel like you're stuck in quicksand.
Yeah.
Right?
All the time.
It's why I took a 2-hour nap yesterday.
Okay, well, building on that for just 1 second, okay? So, I'll have these from time to time, but I always grind through it. Like, I will always tell myself, look, it's better for me to go to the gym and get through all of this, just move a little bit, and I'll have better focus in the afternoon. But yesterday, my body was tired, my mind was tired. I have all of these fitness gadgets because I will always talk myself out of believing my body. Like if my body's tired and my mind is tired, I'm like, it's not that bad. I'll just go to the gym and it gets worse, right? So I have these gadgets, these fitness gadgets that are telling me you need to take the day off. You have been working out too many days in a row. Your body is tired right now. Don't do anything, right? And I've always not listened to them. So yesterday, I decided to listen to them. And it was one of the most difficult things I have ever had to do. In that I put everything away because everything I was doing yesterday was just going through the motions. There wasn't any quality behind it at all. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to take a couple of minutes and I'll watch my favorite TV show. It's 4 in the afternoon. 4 in the afternoon. Now, I usually go to bed at 9 o'clock. So my TV time generally is 8 to 9 o'clock. It's only 1 hour a day. So I will make busy work all day long. So long as I'm moving something, I'm doing something, then I keep it moving. So yesterday I'm like, for 5 minutes, I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to listen to my body. I'm going to listen to my head. I had already made the decision not to go to the gym. So I started to watch a TV show at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was the most uncomfortable thing that I have ever done. And I felt like such a loser and such a slug. I was doing nothing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just watching TV and just focused on TV. Like no Instagram. I put my phone down. I was just watching TV. I watched commercials.
Whoa.
Yeah. When is the last time you watched commercials? Because usually when those come on like Amazon, Amazon Video Prime, I will just
fast forward.
Yeah.
Wait to the moment you can skip.
Well, sometimes you can't skip, so you have to do something. You're not going to just sit there at a screen and watch commercials. So you're on TikTok or whatever. So at 4 o'clock, my 5 minutes turned into 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I think I can do this, but my mind's all over the place. And I'm like, nope, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to watch the show, at least one show, and then I'll get back to work. The one show is over and it ended really, really well. And I'm like, well, damn, now I got to see what happens in the next show. This is Goliath I was telling you guys about. So I sat through another one and another one and another one.
Good for you.
I laid in bed yesterday from 4 o'clock on doing nothing but watching television. That was it. And I fought it the entire time, but found myself getting tired at 7:50 last night, which never, ever happens. I immediately took my Lunesta because I felt like the window was open. I took it. I was out by 8 o'clock, 8:05. And this is so rare for me. I slept through the night mostly. I woke up one time, slept through the night. My alarm woke me up, which never happens. And I woke up this morning feeling like I had slept for 25 years. I feel great today.
And you listened to your body. How crazy is that?
Look, the fight of not doing anything for me is so real that I felt like such a loser. I almost got up and called my therapist saying, like, I think I'm depressed because I was in bed just doing nothing. And these have always been the signs to me, like when you're not doing anything and you feel sluggish.
No, that is rest. Like for
To
some,
me, there's
yes.
like signs of depression, man.
Well, no, if you do that, if you're doing that for months on end, then yes, you're going to have to look deeper. But to have a day off, and I don't know what was in the air because I was sitting on the couch. I felt my body getting heavy. I never take naps. Naps are not my thing. I just don't. But my body and my mind were just exhausted. And they were like, you need to lay down. So I went upstairs to the bedroom. I laid down. I put on the television. And then I was like, no, I don't need what. I need to sleep. I turned the TV off. I rolled over and I slept for 2 hours.
And this was at what time?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock in the
Yes,
afternoon.
sir.
Got up. I got up. I looked at my phone and it said 6. And I was like, where am I?
What year is it?
Right?
I have the same mentality that Bert has in that I go, never rest, never stop. But recently I started listening to my body because I feel like the older you get, the more you really know when your body is telling you to rest. And yeah, man, that when you can finally allow yourself to get that rest, even if it's for one day, it's a game
So
changer.
if you're not sleeping, right, are there times, and this is a legit question, are there times where you guys will just watch TV for 4 hours?
Yes.
And do nothing?
Yes. And the difference between you and I don't feel bad about it.
I used to feel bad about it. I've come along on the other side now.
You don't
need
feel bad
that.
about it?
Not at all.
Do you do this?
I'll feel a little guilty. And I think what's hard about our job and what I've had to remind myself is that for 4 o'clock for the average person, if they're just watching TV in the afternoon, like maybe, yeah, they should be doing something. I forget that our 4 p.m. is like most people's 8 or 9 p.m.
Right.
Because we get off so early that we feel like we had this entire day that it's like, well, why wouldn't I do more things? But sometimes,
cram as much stuff in as possible.
yeah, do as much as possible. But reality is like if you're watching TV at 4, it's probably because your body's ready for bed because, you know, you got up at 4 a.m.
There was so much guilt involved because I know there are people busting their ass at Pioneer, which is my podcasting network. And here, I know you guys are doing show prep and Bert's Big Adventure also. And here I am, the leader of all these things, is just watching TV at 4 o'clock in the I almost wanted to apologize to everybody.
You're allowed to have a life.
When you put it that way, you should feel bad.
Apology accepted.
Can you have it all? Can you have a successful career and a successful dating life? Can you have a career and a healthy marriage? Can you have it all?
And that is what a friend of mine is trying to figure out. And she doesn't think that she can. She thinks that it's going to be her career or it's not going to be her career. Now, she's 28 and she's been striking out when it comes to dating. She just can't seem to land a guy who is accepting of her career.
So there's a recurring theme. Whenever they find out what she does for a living, they're like, deuces.
Yeah, they bail out. They're like, yeah, you're weird. I don't want to do with this.
All right, so before you tell us, can we try to guess what the red flag career is?
Yes.
Radio, and you're talking about Abby.
That is a red flag career. A red flag for a career for sure.
Mortician.
Cassie, why you could have guessed last?
Mortician? Damn.
Every time.
Sorry.
So much for the game.
It was the only career besides stripper that I could think of that might raise red flags for dudes.
I was going to say finance girl.
Sorry, I nuked your bit, Katie.
Yeah, weird. Okay.
Yes, so she is a mortician and she absolutely loves her job. Like this is just, she enjoys it. She doesn't want to go anywhere anytime soon. Like
This is so weird, you guys. I have dated 2 women in this field, morticians, and they loved it. There was nobody to deal with. It was quiet. They felt like it was the most peaceful job on earth. They both absolutely adored it and they would never leave it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
And yeah, that's the same with her. And so guys tend to, for some reason, whoever she's coming along, I don't know what it is with these dating apps, they just hear that and they're like, you like to have fun with dead bodies.
Oh,
You see
come
dead
on,
bodies all the
man.
time.
That's
And
the
they think
default.
it's weird. They run away from her. Every single time she brings this up, guys are not interested in dating her anymore.
That's stupid.
That is stupid.
I don't think it's stupid. Everybody has, like, for instance,
The
like-
reason why they are choosing not to date her is because they are making the accusation that she likes to.
No. Not that she is like attracted or likes to.
Yeah.
That's not where I'm going with this. I'm just saying a person that has zero issue dealing with dead bodies day in and day out kind of puts them in a different mindset to me. And I wouldn't date a guy who's a mortician just because, like, and I'm not saying this, and I do not mean any disrespect. I wouldn't, not that I would have the opportunity. I would never date a professional athlete because I feel like the
The reputation is that they're cheaters.
Exactly. And
But what does being a mortician say to you that
just the fact that you're so comfortable with dead bodies, you enjoy being around dead bodies, that's slightly off-putting to me.
I feel like I would be more fascinated.
Me too.
Like, yeah, I would have a.
And this is coming from the true crime girl.
Yeah, that's why I'm shocked actually, because for me, I'm not going to say it's the same. It's obviously not the same, but I too see similarities in there and how people could look at me and go, "You like a lot of true crime."
Yeah.
That turns me off. But yeah, for me, it would be more of a fascination than anything.
Yeah, I would flip this on its ear and say the fact that you live and you are around death all the time is a hell of a motivator to enjoy life more because you see death in front of you every single day.
And I think it depends. If it's the dead bodies that they like, then I'm with Krista. I'm like, well, why you like dead bodies so much? But if it's the peace and the helping people reach their finality and giving the families their family member to look at in a great state, you feel like you're giving back and the peace and quiet, well, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's altruistic and you're just an introvert.
Well, she likes to talk about this though. Like, I don't really like to have that conversation with her, but she'll tell you about each body that she saw this day.
Okay.
That's weird.
You know, like,
I think she just lost everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
So
for
that's her
some,
thing.
it's like an art. The two women I dated, it was almost like an art. And as Cassie said, they were giving peace to the family members and to be able to, I'm not exactly sure the right words to use here, but to, it's not decorate the person. What's the word I'm looking for?
Makeup.
Dress them up.
Yeah. I as the final time that the family is going to see them, gave them great joy.
I mean, that is important.
So I never thought I'd have the opportunity to bring this up on the show, but here we are talking about, morticians. I somehow ended up on like mortician TikTok. I don't know how it happened, but it did. Well, I'm not on TikTok, but it made its way to Reels probably two weeks late. But there's a guy who is in that industry and people send him questions and he answers them. And somebody asked the question, be like, I don't want to be buried in a bra. So like, can I be buried without a bra or whatever? And so he answered it and he goes, hey, listen, so when we do the embalming and all that stuff, they put tape so none of the fluid can leak out. And he goes, just so you know, if you want to be buried without a bra, they're going to sit up nice because you're filled with fluid and you don't have to worry about that. Because she didn't want to have a bra in the afterlife because they're so uncomfortable. Like that was her thinking. He goes, I've had people, like if your family brings in like the undergarments, I will put the undergarments on you and you will be buried in them. So if you don't want to wear a bra, just make sure you let your family members know, no bra for me when I get buried.
That is truly resting in peace. You don't have to worry about the bra. Taking the bra off before you go to heaven. All right, Mikey's in here to say, look, he knows he's being a nuisance in one area and he needs some help.
In one
Area that he's focusing on today.
Only one.
Is it the studio?
No, it's not.
Is it in your new apartment with your girlfriend?
No, I'm good. I'm a good guy. Guess who's in the gym? Old boy right here.
Yeah,
This guy is.
I can tell. Look at
Round
you
of
all.
applause.
Look
Thank
at you all
you, everybody.
swelled up, man.
The trap's growing.
Look at him.
I am thick.
You've been working on your fitness?
Oh yeah, my figure.
How I think this is more politically correct to ask a guy than a woman. Your height and weight.
My height is 6 feet tall, and my weight is I'd hover around like 137 ish.
Okay.
You
Maybe a
are
little bit
not
less.
137
She
pounds.
always. All right, Abby, you're not 120. What? Like you always say this to me. What's wrong
I'm
with you?
130 pounds.
No, you are.
Yes.
Well, then we're right there together.
downstairs.
I would have guessed you were like 97. I'm talking to Mikey. I'm talking to Mikey.
Bella Hadid.
See, you keep saying that. I beat you at weightlifting, so I don't know. You would want me to weigh more.
No, I'm not arguing. I know that's why I'm shocked that you weigh
Okay.
137. We do not have a 7-pound discrepancy.
Let's
You
weigh
weigh-
ourselves.
I weigh more than you.
Brag about it.
Everyone's shocked, but I also weigh more than you.
I got 10 pounds on you.
Listen, here's the deal. The thing is, I've always said this, because I got these skinny ligaments that like I look like Slender Man. If I get a beer belly, I'm gonna look like an alien. Like you can't just have a big stomach and these skinny little ligaments.
That's fair.
And so,
And beer is your go-to alcohol because you can get that belly quick, man.
yes, unfortunately.
All right.
But you drink the Miller Lite.
Yeah, I drink all the Miller.
It's like
Plenty
the
of them, it
Diet
ain't
Coke
like
of
no
beer.
So I've noticed recently though is I can actually grab like a chunk of my stomach, and that's something I've never been able to do before.
Isn't that neat when you can do that?
Skinny fat.
I kind of do want the little table of my stomach, like whenever you're laying back, you rest your beer on your stomach. That looks fun, but the rest of it is, I'm not into it. And honestly, I hate to admit it, I've always said my health doesn't matter. My health might matter.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking out for my health a little bit.
How old are you again?
23.
That is a very 23 thing to say, that your health doesn't matter, because give it a few years, you're going to realize how much your health matters.
And I don't know, people are just telling me it's going to go downhill. You got to do something.
Can't you enjoy yourself until that happens?
Well, they say it's harder to dig yourself out of the ditch after it starts going down.
Yep.
So I got my skinny little mug in the gym over there. All
right.
And it sucks. I hate it. I really don't want to be there, but I'm going. I have this new nice gym in my apartment, and I've been going. But the thing is, whenever I moved in and I started going, it's like a lot of college kids live at this apartment. Nobody was there. So now the thing that I'm struggling with is all the students are back, and so there's people in the gym all of the time.
So are they equally new to the gym, or can you tell that they are kind of veterans of the gym?
I would never assume that someone is newer than me.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I don't have a single clue what I'm doing. I just crank whatever's in front of me.
Yeah.
As hard,
So I just love that you said crank whatever's in front of you. So you don't go in with a plan, like a workout plan.
I don't know any plans. I don't know what anything does. Like people are like, what are you working on? Your traps, your ribs, whatever. I don't even know what you work on.
It's rib day.
But I just go in there and I crank whatever.
Don't forget those big toes.
Yeah.
Toe, rib, and ankle day.
Get your ankles right.
It's an ankle day today. They say I do full body. I just go and do every machine that's there. I'm not running because boring, and I need to get in and out of there as soon as possible. So I do pretty much until failure. Just really try to hurt yourself, and then you can leave, and you feel terrible after.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Bert and Mo, I would consider you guys gym rats for the most part, and I say that lovingly. You surely have some advice for Mikey.
I'll go in there with you one time. And just show you how to do a couple of different exercises and do them right.
That sounds like a slippery slope. I feel like Bert's going to be screaming in my face.
No, not at all, man. I'll take it easy on you. But at least you got to know the form.
I guess so.
Because a lot of guys your age that go in there, they're just trying to lift as heavy as they can and satisfy their ego. And that's when injuries happen and stuff like that.
Mikey, I think you can do something good here, because I remember those days. Yes, shocker. I used to go to the gym. And there is a point where it starts to feel good, where you start to notice, I hate this word, but the gains, when you can pick up the bigger set of weights and you're like, oh, this is easy. And it is addicting. But I think you and Bert as a veteran, you as a newbie, could literally do a whole series on the gym for dummies and show the proper form. Like, this works your chest muscles. This is how you use it. And I think it'd be really cool.
I'd love to do that.
In case you're confused, you're the dummy.
Thanks.
We're all dummies until you learn.
I used to go to the gym with this one guy. The problem is I can't be serious. Can we just joke? Can we laugh?
It's supposed to be fun.
Do we have one more second I can say something?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead.
My big problem in the gym is the stupid mirror. The mirror is my least favorite thing ever, because number one, I can't look at myself. I don't want to see myself. Nobody wants to see that. So then I look around, but then I'm staring at other people. I'm a creep. So how do you fix that?
Well, there will be a time where you look in the mirror and you go, that's a muscle I didn't know.
The mirror becomes your friend after a little bit.
Is it the mirror for checking your form anyway to make sure you're doing moves right?
I just look at the little pictures that they have of the stick guys and I try to match them.
Please go to the gym with this man.
Yeah, man.
Help him out.
I'm a seasoned veteran with this.
Mo's like, I want none of this smoke.
He's going to hurt himself.
I took Rebecca one time and she never signed back up. Okay. There's an 18-year age difference in their relationship, and one of the families was like, absolutely not. Today is follow-up Thursday, so you guys remind us of Bert Show storylines, and then we do the homework and give you some follow-ups.
So Jill, who was 46 years old, was really anxious about meeting her 28-year-old boyfriend's family, knowing that their age gap was probably going to cause some tension.
Yep.
But despite her boyfriend's reassurance that he would support her, the initial encounter really didn't go well. His family quickly interrogated her and made jokes at her expense. And although her boyfriend defended her during the initial gathering, the real emotional blow came the next day. His mom cornered Jill and aggressively accused her of manipulating her son. The mom's harsh remarks centered on Jill's inability to provide her son with children and her potential threat to his future and family legacy. So she was really hurt by this entire confrontation and kind of the underlying judgment. So Jill found herself reevaluating the entire relationship.
All right, so our update reads, months later, I can say that I am still in a loving relationship with my boyfriend. A few days after leaving his family's home, I shared with him the private conversation I had with his mom. He was deeply upset and wanted to confront her, but I talked him out of it. My goal was to focus on our relationship and let time do its work. To everyone's surprise, my boyfriend's mom reached out around the holidays with an olive branch. We decided to visit his family for a small New Year's gathering. The atmosphere, completely different. His mom apologized, awkwardly but sincerely. There were actual hugs this time, and she seemed genuinely interested in getting to know more about me. His sister apologized as well. At that moment, it was a lot to take in. In my mind, I was questioning this sudden change of heart. Was this a trap? Did my boyfriend have a private conversation with them? Why were they so welcoming all of a sudden? The rest of the day went well, and I was starting to enjoy their warm vibes. I hope this will continue throughout our relationship. Thanks for all your advice.
So you guys have any hunches on why all of a sudden?
He talked to him.
Yeah.
I think he did.
That's what I felt. Like, yeah, he probably just talked to his family.
Listen, a mama is not going to change her opinion that fast.
Yeah.
This is a huge leap because I feel like in a lot of these stories that we hear from people, we're always like, why isn't your boyfriend or your fiance or your husband talking to his family? Like, why isn't you always having to do the emotional legwork? So I feel like this is real progress for us. Finally, somebody's boyfriend talked to their mommy and figured stuff out.
We're assuming that.
We're assuming.
Or it could be that she has seen that her son is super, super happy, and she's putting her son's happiness before her own ego and what she had thought for him, and maybe that's what's happened here.
So she's really going to let go of the idea of having grandchildren ever, just like that. Right, like just like that.
You know, I doubt that. He told his family to fake it up for me. Just
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I also think you have to give some grace on the front end of this too. You know, I think that your parents have an idea in their head of what your life is going to look like, accurate or not, right? Their interpretation of what happiness is for you is there, and it's going to take a hit when your life truly doesn't line up with that. Right or wrong, there has to be some kind of grace period where they're like, all right, this is not what I wanted for my kid, but it's what's making them happy. But initially, there's going to be some blowback.
That right there. This is why, in order to have a blissful life, you must have zero expectations in life.
Right.
If you have no expectations, you will never be disappointed.
Truer words have never been spoken.
That is true, man. All right, ladies, let me ask you this question here. I don't know what the origin story of this bride is. However, she posted a generic post to all of the bridal party. If you are in a bridal party, here is her advice for you if you are in the bridal party.
Not just hers, but in any bridal party. So
right?
This is a blanket statement for all bridesmaids everywhere.
I do not know what has happened to get her to this situation where she's so upset with how some of the bridesmaids have angered her. I don't know. But clearly she's upset. Okay? It says, rules for and I have to say this over and over and over again, rules for capital letters, bridal party that I will share every day.
Every day.
Yep, every day. 1, capital letters. It's not your day. Do what the bride asks or don't be in the wedding. And my question to you guys is, are these true or is she being harsh? Cass, you want to get in on this?
I mean, she's right. It's the bride's day. I mean, as long as it's not like super, super extreme, I feel like if you are in a bridal party, you understand the job at hand is to make sure the bride has her perfect wedding day.
I think this is the case of it's not necessarily what she says, but how she's saying it. I think there's a way to be demanding and there's a way to be understanding to the other bridal party members and just being like, hey, I know we all have opinions, but like yours doesn't matter today. Okay.
All right. Number 2, capital letters. It's not your day. She said that in the first time. If the bride wants makeup or certain hair for everyone and you don't wear makeup, don't be in the wedding. It's usually the ones who scream, I don't want all that, who ends up looking less flattering than everyone else. Now, hair can be flexible if you have a specific style like locks, pixie cut, etc.
This is a bridesmaid who is fed up. She has seen some stuff.
Yep.
She has been in one too many bridal parties. She is like, I am not messing around this time.
I feel like if you're going to demand all of them wear makeup, then you must cover the cost of the makeup artist.
Yeah, I kind of disagree. If you have a friend who you know doesn't like makeup, then you probably wouldn't make them wear makeup.
Okay. Number 3 starts out, it's not your day.
Making sure we reiterate that.
I just want to make sure you got it.
Could you imagine a groom saying this, by the way? Telling his groomsmen,
Nah.
Mo, it is not your day, man.
We don't have these struggles.
Act how you would want your capital letters bridal party to act if it was your day.
Okay.
Okay? 4, it's not your day. She's saying it with every single one of them. You look jealous when you object to every little thing, capital letters again, especially things you have capital letters not paid for. Be grateful or don't be in the wedding.
Who's objecting to what?
Oh, no. Like I said, I don't know the origin story.
Literally would never in a million years go to a friend's wedding unless they asked my opinion. Wouldn't be like, no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to actually bring in some kind of opinion about the actual wedding is one thing. I think maybe what she's alluding to is a lot of the things that are decided for bridesmaids, like what you have to wear and what kind of flowers you have to carry, because otherwise you really have no skin in the game.
You are capital letters. Team Bride. If you would wish to act like anything less, switch to capital letters. Team Guest. Have a seat and throw rice. Preferably uncooked.
Well, you shouldn't throw rice. It's bad for the birds' tummies.
And 6 and the final one. Capital letters. It's not your day.
I'm shocked.
If you can't afford to be in the wedding, let the bride know up front. Don't accept and then penny pinch. Capital letters. Especially if it's 1 year or more out. Plan accordingly. And then very last, capital letters. We'll be sharing this every day till the wedding.
Oh my God.
Every day. I need to know what happened.
I need to know. Yeah, there's an origin story here.
Is she totally out of line though? I mean, yes, she's being aggressive and being obnoxious, but is she totally out of line?
Yes and no, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
what does that mean?
Because it's not your day. It's the bride's day. And so you can't impart your preferences on the bride. Mm-hmm. Everybody has different likes, different tastes, etc. So what the bride may like may not be your jam, but it's her day. So if you're a good friend and you want your friend to have a beautiful wedding, then you will suck up and do some things you're probably not. If she's asking you to completely change your personality and who you are, well, then that's not a good friend.
Yeah, I don't think what she's saying is wrong. I think she's just been through it a couple of times and she is over the complaining and the penny pinching and the group chat that goes off all the time. And she's like, you know what? If I say some harsh stuff now, this is going to save us a lot of trouble down the road.
While it's supposed to be your day, if you had to put a percentage on how much of the day truly was yours, Kristen and Cassie, on your wedding day, what would it have been?
Ooh, mine was pretty high because we were older and we paid for it.
99%.
99%.
I'd say like 95%.
95%.
But I'm also not the kind of a-hole who's like, you have to wear this, you have to do this. Like, if my bridesmaids didn't want to wear makeup, they didn't have to.
You're an entirely different kind of a-hole.
Yes, Queen of a-holes.
The Bert Show.